Hello, here is an IGS game played even at 4Q level where black won by resignation. At this stage black is over 20 points ahead, so there's nothing for white to do but resign. Well, before capturing this bunch of stones in the middle area, the game was really close. So let's see how it developed. So we got a parallel Fuseki this time with white taking the Komoku which faces the Q3 corner. So here for white it's more interesting to play d3 or just go for a Hoshi. Well, Sansan it's an option too, as usual. But playing this Komoku in the direction of Q3, it just gives black a nice Kakari coming at E4, which happened in the game. So usually here white will just attach and grab the corner. But the follow-up it's excellent for black, as black develops in the direction of Q3, so it will create a Moya right away. Well, in this case, white is looking for a pincer to complicate things, and that's a good idea. Now cut. Well, usually here, white can think of Hane, and then 2-space jump. Then black will go for a Keima cap here. White extends very light to make a base on the bottom side, and black hits the vital point. So this is a basic pattern. And in this Joseki, white gets to develop both the left side and the bottom, while black just settles a group in the lower left. But well, black is center, so nothing to complain. This would be a classic Joseki. Another option is to play a 2-space jump. Then usually black will bump, white descends. Black either plays E2 or kick at F3. Now with the kick, usually white has to play Kosumi. Black protects the corner, white extends for a base. The Kosumi is better for white than playing simply Nobi up, because it's a more resilient formation. I mean, for black it's for white it's very easy to set up an I shape just with Hane and Atari. That's why the Kosumi. But okay, in this case white decides to cut. So we will have a very tactical fight right away. Now Atari under. It's more common to play Atari from above, then the variation is pretty much forced. So this is a classic Joseki. Black is giving up the 2 stones to capture the left one, and then just extends in the top left. Well, that's a Kakari in fact. So white decides to play the Atari under, in which case black has 2 options. Usually the timing is to go Atari here first, and here white can consider a Ponuki. So take 1 Ponuki and give 1 Ponuki, which is a trade, and this way white ends up in center, so he can either make a Shimari or attack the lower right corner. That would be a simple variation, but descend and keep fighting is good too. Now white played a pretty interesting move, so just connect. It's more common to go down d2. It's better for the I shape. So if this happens, black will push first at g4. This is good timing to push here before the block on in the corner, because with this push, white will Nobi most of the time. If white tries Hane to be more active, black can play a cut or actually just block c2. Now c2 is threatening Atarian capture, and in this case, if white connects like this or a hanging connection, black will also Atari and then capture the cornerstones. So that's terrible for white. So therefore, white will just Nobi, and now black can block b5 and now just extend from the wall. This is a classic Joseki. Also, black can consider the 1-space jump, because this move is also threatening to capture the cornerstone. So for example, if white plays away, black can come down at b3, and when white turns, everything is captured. But white will usually turn first, play an Atari to create some Agi, and then capture the cornerstone. Now in this case, having the Agi in the middle, black either pushes again or captures a stone in the net. And it's not very comfortable. I mean, the wall seems to be a little bit over concentrated. Therefore, the basic pattern is to push, go down, and then extend from the wall. So that's another Joseki. But white connected solid, so black blocks here first. Actually, black can still push. Well, the order move, it's okay like this too, and then push 1 time. Well, sometimes white becomes ambitious and plays a double Hane, in which case black will go Atari and extend, or Atari from the outside and push a couple of times to make a stronger wall and then attack the top left corner. Similar to what happened in the game. So white just no b. Black attacks the top left corner, that's good. So in general, when you set up a wall, you want to extend from it right away at c10, and it's the distance is good enough. But here it's also nice to combine the Joseki and play a Kakari. So for example, if white just grabs the corner, which is a very basic pattern, for black to end up the Joseki with d10, it also serves as an extension from the wall. So this would be pretty ideal for the left side. Therefore, white tries another another low and tight pincer. So this sometimes shows a lack of imagination to play the same Joseki on and on, but well, maybe that's probably pretty much the only Joseki white knows with the pincer and attach in the corner. But here again, white can play the Hane, 2-space jump, and then extend. This way, white is actually developing in the front of the wall on the left side with c10, so it kind of ruins the potential black had with that thickness. And again, we have this follow-up. The ladder is good for black, so black can play this Joseki, and now black either extends here to attack the two stones or goes for a Shimari. The game is still playable for both. Anyway, white really likes that cut, it seems. So instead of Hane, just cut, and we have the same pattern again. So here when black goes Atari, white can take a Ponuki because it's Sente, and then play an extension or a peep to make the wall on the left side a little bit meaningless or put him on the run. So this would be an option for white, and it's quite simple, just to take a Ponuki. But again, he extracts the stone, then connects solid instead of the descent, which is always better for eye shape in the corner and less Kotrets after that. So well, it's white's choice. Then yeah, these moves are forced, and black puts more emphasis on the corner with O17. But actually, it's still good to extend to the middle of the side, either K16 or L16 or L17. So having the wall, usually you want to extend from it. So this way, black obviously wants the corner, white peeps. Vital point, this is a good move. Actually here it's good enough for black to play something like K17 or K16, but H16 it's really a nice spot because when white goes up, black can push down and now attack the whole thing. So that's painful for white. Now here, 1-space jump. Actually instead of 1-space jump, it's more interesting to play Nobi this time because you want to be able to cover and connect your stones at F15. So if white keeps pushing like this, you want to be able to use this one. But anyway, the jump, it's also a nice shape, and probably the difference between J16 and K16, it's a couple of percentage, like 2 or 3%. It's really sensitive. So white jumps, black pushes along, that's good. Actually, there is still RG here with G16 and the cut, but good for black to go out, yeah. And connect solid. Now here, when white peeps, yeah, white expects black to connect solid, but the jump, it's actually a very nice defense, and it shows more fighting spirit. So when white cuts, black can jump here, white pushes, black connects to the left side. So black is fine either way. Black can induce the way out with that jump. So that was a really good idea to defend c7, an indirect defense. It's also okay to play just Nobi here, or Hane, it's not a problem if white cuts. But yeah, the jump, it's safe. Then this cap, another way to defend indirectly, because if white pushes and cuts, black would just cover. And does this work? Yeah, it does. So that shows fighting spirit to play the jump. But this peep, it's questionable. It's a peep at the cutting point. White shouldn't do anything. White is still in trouble in the top, so white should play a wedge and try to get a base in the top. Or fix the group this way and come out. That's more urgent than just create another heavy group in the middle. So every time a group is in danger, the priority is to protect it. Therefore, the wedge here is really urgent. So we have a peep, connect, then come out with a Kosumi. White can go out in a faster pace with a move like this, the horse neck. This move is not really necessary. If white cuts, you can play that. But okay, with this kind of move, you capture two stones. it's a bit bigger to push like this and try to capture them on a larger scale. So for example, if white jumps and then we have this kind of formation, black can play Kema, and now the two stones will die bigger if white tries to go out just around everything. But let's see. I mean, if you look all over the board right now, it's big to play a move like Q6 or R6 or a middle side extension around R10. Also, it's interesting to play a cap move here or just block the top. This block is actually very big because white doesn't have a base for that group, so white is still running. If white comes out here, you go between the stones or just connect. And if he connects like this, you don't have to worry about the whole wall, because you can just play here and then cut the stones in the top or cut the two stones like this and connect. So if you really worry about the wall, it's much better to play J17 because it's a defense and an attack move in the same time. When white plays something here to prevent the cut, black can go up, and again when white comes out, black can go between the groups and then surround everything in the top. So that's a much more active defense. So we have a cap, then Nobi, this was big, black blocks and jumps. Actually black can just Nobi. White will probably play another move here to capture the stone and stay alive, and now black can go for a large point. So white got two corners and a little bit of a territory on the left side, then an over-concentrated group in the top, but black develops much faster and bigger all over the place. So here this leaves some cutting points. Okay, artistic defense again. This block is good, but here black can also consider the pincer. Then when white slides, you have this Tetsuji to take away the base, or block the corner, and white is still under a lot of pressure. Then build a lot on the right side. But it's nice to block the corner R15. White is supposed to extend for a base, and you can go all the way to R8. This base is very tiny, so white needs to go out, then black and Shimari. So black took a Shimari, white extends again. Actually, this shape on the right side is still very loose. For example, black can use S10. Now, when white Nobi one way or the other, you just Hane, push, and either connect under or leave. So if this happens, you scoop out the base and make some territory in the corner. And if he plays Atari, and connect, the group is already alive on the right side. You can push one time and then use the cuts. This one and this one. So white will kind of collapse. So it's good to remember the Tsuke. If white plays here, you have the same thing going on towards the other side. And if he plays a Hane one way or the other, you play a counter Hane, give up a stone, and connect. So you hurt the other stone on the outside. Now it's the same thing if he plays Hane S11. You counter Hane R9, sacrifice a stone, and connect. And now Q7 is hurt. He got the Ponuki, but it's over concentrated because R13 is very close to the Ponuki. So that's a good Tetsuji to remember. Tsuke on the second line, then go up or down, either with Hane or so either like this or like this. I mean, well, you wait to see whether white plays a Hane or a Nobi, and you continue accordingly. But this is a good Tetsuji to take away the base or just separate one of the stones. Now, N3 is big on the bottom side, a little bit conservative. Obviously, black can extend all the way to M3, but, well, black feels good about his position, so why not play just solid. Now with this move, which is an endgame, black can play on top this time. So Q10, to see whether white will pull back here or here. Now after this you can play a Hane, connect, and then just cover. So you start going for a nice middle. Another option for black is to play shoulder hit and then attach. Usually the position will end up like this. So now we can see that N3 is a little bit narrow, so black would go M3. Anyway, white is kind of low on the right side. This push is big, and also Nobi, very important. White should defend at L2, because from L2 he's got to follow up at N2. Cap, okay. Actually here, black can push, cut, and then play a no Tetsuji, and now cover with a cap. Let's see what happened. Oh, this Kosumi is very shy, coming inside the Moya. And black defense, it's also a little bit small. It's like increasing the territory with 5-6 points. It's more interesting to play something on the right side like this. And here you can push, cut, play the no Sujin Sente, and then cover. So you can build more territory in this area. Let's see. Keima, he comes in between. Oh, actually now, black can still push and cut, threatening the double Atari, or you can play Atari and Atari to make sure white is not going to change his mind. And then you can go out and cut because he's forced to take the 2 stones, then Atari from the outside. So now you separate the guy in the middle, and then you go for the shoulder hit and all this follow up. So his Kosumi actually can be cut. Sorry. This one. Because of the push and cut. For white here, the right move is to play a bump or a Kosumi. When black defends, then just jump in the middle from the right side. This is a way to erase black's potential. So for black it's not interesting to push one way or the other. Usually it's nice to play a Keima, and when white pushes like this, you just Kosumi. And now you're still looking at push and cut and so on, so he might answer and then you play away. But it's good to use that cut combination right away. So push, Atari, Atari again, and then you have 2 options. One is to sacrifice 1 more stone, because if he plays here you just capture it. Or you play M3, if he connects on top you connect under, if he captures a stone you cut. But if you cut this way, this will be Gote, and now white can come from the right side. So when you sacrifice 1 more stone, like this, you're going to be Sente to separate that guy, and now you don't block here, you just play on the right side to build more. If he cuts, you're happy to get all this center and then some profit on the side as well. And later on just block here. Well, if black has a chance. So remember that combination to cut the bottom side. Push from behind, okay. Oh, white played away. It's natural for white to come out here. He really likes those Kosumis. So another combination is to play shoulder hit like this and then attach. So obviously black is going for the box in the top. And if white cuts, you cut like this, Atari go out. If he pushes you Hane, Atari answer, Atari go out. Now if he connects here, you cut on the right. If he connects here, you turn. And it's still a lot of territory in the top. So this is all forced, but you gotta read all the time those variations. And here he was supposed to play the Hane. Then obviously you can go R14, then double hanging connection, go up. White can jump in the corner, but black will push and clamp. White can push here, then Hane, Atari, Atari, connect, and then jump again in the center. If something like this happens, the game it's actually fairly close. And well, if white doesn't lose any stone in the center, you might even be ahead. It's a 6 points combing game. Yeah, this variation felt pretty good for white to block in the top with S17 after the push. Here it's also okay. Then Atari, fine. In fact, in this case, push and Hane. This will be Sente, and then jump again in the center to expand the box. Try to make some territory in the uncontested area. So now we have some endgame going on. Very conservative this move. It's better for black to play the tiger mouth, because when white pushes in the middle, it's just 1 point damage in Sente. But when you block here, you make the point, but you lose more in the top because you have to answer like this. And actually, in the end, all these points disappear from the top. So it was minus 3 points like that. Okay, back to the original game. This turn, maybe it's better to play Tsuke, Tiger Mouth, and Nobi. So, Hane and Nobi. Double Hane was good. And now you don't have to block here. Just Atari and try to build more in the center. This combination, it's still interesting. How to make a bigger center. Atari, Atari, go out. This move looks nice. Then here, and extend. Yeah, it's a much better deal than going Q2. Q2 it's a reflex block, and then it doesn't build that much. Now push and cut is nice. And white is in trouble. So this is where white is losing the game. Black doesn't even need to go back here. Just Atari and protecting the center, because when white captures this stone, he still doesn't have ice. So it's game over here. Okay, nice way to cut. Atari and come out. Very good. Black shape, it's excellent in the middle, so black is actually capturing this group on a very large scale. So this group was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20 plus the surrounding territory. It's about 30 points, which means white was slightly ahead before the group died. So black obviously had to play a bit more active earlier, but now there's nothing for white to do. It's pretty much game over here. Black can play this move in center. White will block and it's a lot of RG. Yeah, this was big. But black has a better move. S1. If white connects, Atari and Atari again. So white needs to play here, black defends, and actually white loses lots of points in the corner. Because like this, white still makes 4 or 5 points in this area. On the right side, it's better to play throw in and then descend, or go Atari. Because at the end, white is forced to play another move inside. And black will end up capturing the stone anyway. So this way, white connects, black captures. But if you throw in and you go down, when white connects here, you go Atari and he can't connect. He needs to connect this way, and it's a bit more painful. So that's a more positive endgame. Oh wait, you can connect here, nothing happens, or just leave it. For example, if you play Atari like this, it captures a stone, you connect, and then he needs to come back. But now it's finished. Monkey jump. Oh, here Atari, Atari, Atari. Yeah, must connect eventually. No AG anymore. And yeah, white realized he messed up and had to resign the game. So nice comeback in the second part of the game, but the start was good. Then somehow white got enough territory, and then in the end black came on top. Enjoy the review.